Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Blake again, coming at y'all for another video. And yes, I know I have a problem with spacing out long periods of time with no videos, but that's because I'm always working. So, good news is I have done a few things to the car since then, and one you can see is the windshield has been replaced, so I've been able to drive it. But I added a couple other things, and I think you guys are gonna really like what I did. I'm really stoked that I went ahead and did this anyway, because it really did transform the whole inside of the car. I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna show you guys. 'Cause I think showing you will be way cooler. And I also added a couple other things. For one thing, the car is completely filthy, but my dad hooked me up and decided to freshen up the tire letters. So they look really good now. I have got to clean the car, but let me show you guys what we're working with. Oh yeah. Got me a set of super nice Corbeau seats now. And they look sick. Yes, I have protective floor mat coverings because I bought brand new Cobra floor mats, and those mats were really expensive, and so I spent an extra $6 and got those cheapo cover mats for when I drive the car in general, so I don't ruin them. So when I go to car shows, whatever, I'll take those out. So make fun of me all you want, but that's a smart idea. Anywho, looking good. I finally got a new radio head unit too that's blue. And my stereo system works, which I'm so happy about because I always thought that it stopped working. So this is what I'm super excited about the most. So let me go ahead and show you guys. So I'm going to pop this on. So you guys already know that I got the blue LED lights, right? Well, I finally have the blue LED lights in here. This blue is not the same matching blue, but it's close. I got to figure out how to mess with that. But I added this little mod right here. This was 20 bucks. AutoZone, and it was really placed very cleanly to hide all the wiring inside the floorboard. You can't see anything. Well, a little bit right there, but that's not a big deal. But check this out. The same matching dark blue that matches my interior lights. How sick is that? And then, of course, you can't forget the rear seat delete as well. Okay, I forgot. I did one more mod to the car, and it's actually on the exterior, and it is lighting. It's another light upgrade that I did, but it really transformed the look of the outside of the car, and just a simple modification. It wasn't expensive to do, but check this out. Oh yeah, your boy put LED side markers in. Of course, you guys already see the LED license plate bulbs that I put in, which really woke up the back end of the car, but check it out. So I guess I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little update. I have some big news, and it involves one. I have to fix something very, very severe on this car, coolant-wise, because it was really scary driving this car home. And luckily I was able to get it home, but that was crazy. I've got to get this addressed before this major event / goal / achievement that I've always wanted to do is possibly in the books. Now, for one, the hood. The guy is super busy, has been forever. He's one of the best in my county, if not the best guy to go to. I've helped him get a couple jobs. Me and Dad have hooked him up and stuff. Really cool guy. You know, if anyone needs any work, go to him for sure. But he has my hood, and I bought a couple additions to modify the hood to make it more safe, and it's going to look really sick when it gets done. But I need to go over there when I get done with this video and check on the hood, because I really need that back, and I want it back for this reason. So every February, VMP for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now has done a really awesome car show, and everyone comes down for it. YouTubers, anybody in the state. I've went with a lot of friends. My dad's went with me a few times. I met that dude in blue in person there, and he actually reviewed my SVT Contour. I know I've talked about that a bunch, but that's where I met him, was there, actually wearing this same hoodie when I was a little chubby thing, you know, back then. And Now he's coming back down again. And I had his personal cell phone number, and I have forever. And he posted on Facebook about how he wanted to get a list of cars that he wants to review or suggestions or anything like that. So I posted on there, but I was like, oh, wait, I have his phone number. Why don't I just see if he'll respond? I sent him the mod list of the car, motor, what's done to it, a little brief background so he can kind of understand, because I know text messages are a lot to read. And he agreed and was down to review the 97. So I'm super stoked. Now I've got to really try and fix this car and get it ready. So before I get to the coolant problem that I have, the severe coolant problem that I have now, and address that with you guys and try to get that done and fixed, I just wanted to say that, for one, I'm so stoked because I've always wanted David to review this car. And a couple of reasons why is, for one, I know for a fact he has never reviewed a first-generation Cobra Mustang, 94 to 98. He did one 94 to 98 GT white, like long time ago. He's never done a Cobra. And so I feel like the story behind my particular Mustang, and I think, to be honest, the way that it looks, I think is one of the coolest looking, if not definitely one of the more one-off, unique looking cars you can see for SN right now. I haven't seen anybody try to duplicate this look, and I think that's really cool that I've kind of got like a one-of-one, setup that was combined with me and my dad. So I think that's really cool. But now the fact that the interior is almost done, and hopefully, I'm really hoping I get the hood back, because I really want that on the car before he reviews it. I mean, if not, it is what it is. But I just really think this car should get the love that it's always deserved. It's been a good car, and I really hope that this will be as controversial as I think that it's always been, where people hate the wing, love the wing, hate the wheels, love the wheels, hate the tire letters, love the tire letters. Like, it's gonna be pretty crazy. And I love the indecisiveness, but more people recently have come around to the car. And I'm thinking that's because just the whole mindset, the vast majority of cars now has all transitioned to track cars, autocross, things like that. Like, off the top of my head, ZL1, 1LE, 350R. A regular 350 in general handles amazing. The Mach 1 handling track pack. Boss 302 Laguna Seca. Boss 302. Like, it's just the track car, Viper ACR. The track car scene is so crazy now. And I think that since this is a 90s car, it's kind of getting, it's more 90s, but it has kind of a slight modern flair, but it's not over the top. So I think that's what I love most about this, is it's just a straight up 90s Mustang, but slight little flair to it. And I can tell you one thing, David always really enjoys reviews, and he's really enjoyed spending time with me and Dad. Super cool guy. So what I'm hoping is, if we get this review to happen at this point in time, with the way the car's set up now, NA and everything, I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to for sure plan. I'm sure he'd be more than willing to, because it's more content for him. It's business. But I think he'd really enjoy reviewing this same car again with the supercharger. I'm going to really talk to him and see if he'd want to do like a part 2 or something, because at the end of the day, this is still a work in progress and it's not done. So I'm kind of just I've always wanted to get this goal of mine out of the way. Who knows when I'll be able to meet David again, but if we're able to meet up in person and do this, maybe we can talk and really plan something for sometime later on during this year or something. But best believe, when the blower is on, I will get this car reviewed by David again. And not to mention, you guys know that I am a huge advocate for the first generation 4-valve Mustangs. These cars are really, really underrated. I know I say that all the time, but they really are. I mean, you can get an amazing car for the money, and the power plant's there, but it holds its own if you do slight mods. If you just put a steep gear in the back, tire, do some upper and lower control arms, maybe a K-member, and then, or if you want to do full bolt-ons or whatever. But like, dude, these things rip. Like, they really rip for a little fun street car. So I mean, unfortunately, now here's the thing I'm gonna go ahead and put out. So if anybody sees this video before the review, if this happens, this car is on a very, very conservative tune, and it's got a few little things that's not perfect. It needs to be buttoned up. So the drivability isn't perfect, and it's definitely still it's much more improved than it was with the bent rod and no long tubes, and it was all stock throttle body, you know, all that with the stock configuration. Now it's fully undergone, but it still has a 355 rear end gear that's made for the supercharger and not for NA. So, you know, it's definitely going to be more of a lackluster facial reaction. I'm already going to go ahead and put a disclaimer out there, but I'm hoping that the car impresses him more than he's going to think. And I really hope that he enjoys the story and really appreciates the work that I put into the car and wanted to keep this forever. I'm sorry, I forgot. More stuff has happened recently. It's totally went over my head. But before I talk about the problem with the car, I took this to a meet in Port St. Lucie, I think 2 weeks ago, to meet up with, you guys know, Mr. MG himself, MG Channel. He had the silver Terminator Cobra. We've been wanting to meet up for a while, and I think we started our YouTube channels around the same time, if I'm not mistaken, or close to it. But super cool guy. He always throws really cool meets. So when we got there, you already know, Terminator Cobras everywhere. There was 195 Cobra, mint condition, that was trying to be restored back to its original state, which was super cool. The guy only did slight mods like caster camera plates and like subframe connectors. Like, other than that, he put the original wheels back on, reupholstered the stock seats, stock interior. He got the stock engine bay. Like, oh, it was awesome. And yeah, MG was really stoked to see the car, see the seats, and meet me and Dad. And I got photos and everything. Little kid loved the 97. He got to sit in the car. Started it for him. I actually got a red Corbeau harness, but I need a harness bar. I didn't buy that yet, so I just got the harness sitting underneath the seats in the back. But yeah, me and MG are gonna meet up sometime in the future and collab. So I'm gonna go ahead and spill the beans on that. So we're really looking forward to making some content. He definitely wants to review the car and blowers on as everybody else does. So, but yep, you got some news on that too. So all right, let me go ahead and crack the bad news. As you can see here, there is no coolant in my tank at all. And that is because I had a slight leak on this for the longest time, and it was so small that I would check this all the time. It wouldn't lose any coolant periods. It was always full, and I had no leaks, you know, very, very small issue. I only noticed when I jacked the car up and it would leak out the back. I have a little bit of leaks up front here, but that's because I actually tore this apart, took all this off. I undid this hose, and I got coolant everywhere up front because I bought a crossover delete from On3 Performance that's over in the car, AN fittings and everything, but there's a couple things that I needed to get that I didn't know. So I took this all apart for nothing because I wanted to go ahead and get this situated and done out the way, and I hate the way this looks anyway. I wanted to make it look pretty, but I couldn't. So I got coolant everywhere. But regardless, you guys know there's a underneath the valley, which is underneath this manifold. You take this off. There's a big coolant tube that goes this way between the valley. Well, that's shot. I'm trying to show you guys those two little dark spots. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you see it now. Puddles for sure. And it's really bad. I'm pretty sure that pipe actually busted entirely because when I was driving to work, I drove this literally yesterday. I topped the car off, drove it, wasn't a big deal. I was driving to work, and I was driving, and I see this big old plume of smoke come right here and come off the manifold, and it freaked me out. I thought I blew a head gasket. That's how much like smoke flew up everywhere. And I looked out the back, and there was no smoke or nothing coming out the car. So it's like, car's driving fine, whatever. I see, like you could see all these droplets everywhere. That's all coolant. And it got so bad driving home because I was leaking so bad. You guys saw it's just dirt and water and mist all over the back. This probably wasn't the video you guys wanted to see, but, at least I have been making progress with the seats, The seats, the windshield, a little bit of interior stuff. I got LED side markers on the car. I do have a crossover delete that sits in the car right now. So we're making progress, guys. I just, unfortunately, this is not even the car's fault. I was told to put this stock original tube back together and we were fixing the car. So I filled up, I brought a gallon with me, actually, of coolant, straight coolant, brand new gallon with me to work, just for in case purposes. Thank you, God, that I did. Filled it up. I always fill up the tank before I ever start the car if I ever have a leak. I always do that. So drove it. So the car was never really without a full system full of coolant, ever, this whole time. So that was good. But the leak just got worse and worse and worse as I kept driving it. And I was all the way at work trying to make it home. And I'm talking like if I'm driving 55, the speed limit, and I'm in fifth gear, no RPM whatsoever. I thought maybe it would just sustain and just drip, but be really, really slow. Oh, no. Come to find out, my low coolant temp sensor light works. So that's cool. You guys let me know. But I would pull over, shut the car off, fill it up with coolant, the tank anyway. It would always be just this much on top of the little hose that goes down. So there was no air pockets or nothing like that. So I would always just top it off. Wait, you could just see, because the car is stagnant, all that hot coolant, just smoking everywhere. It gets smoke on the headers. You can hear it drip and fizz. I'm driving, and it's smoking so bad, it looks like I blew a head gasket. You can see slight smoke coming off the exhaust out the back. It was crazy, because it's just all over the exhaust, transmission, like it's all over everything. Because of that long tube from the front to the back, I think is entirely shot. Maybe even a heater hose or two, because there was a pretty nasty leak behind the engine where I see where the engine sits, and I'm looking down. So in the back, and then I see the leak up front, in the valley. So I'm like, holy moly. But I prayed about it. I was freaking out really bad because I didn't know how I was going to get home. Everything was shut down. Everything was closed. And I was like, oh, man, I can go back to work. I drove back to work to fill up my coolant jugs, and I topped off the coolant. I'm really glad because somebody was at work and they let me in. Filled up the car, went back inside, filled it up, had a full gallon of water, just straight water. So I was able to make it home, and the car never overheated at all. And having that 3-row aluminum radiator, I think really helped too, because that holds a lot more fluid than a stock radiator. So I really got lucky on that situation as well. And with it being super cold out, it only stayed, the worst that it ever got was just stay on the R. That was it. And then I was going to unplug the fan if I needed to help, but I didn't even need to do that. So we made it home. And yes, I checked the oil. Oil's fine, guys. And the coolant never mixed. So we're fine. It just has a really nasty, severe coolant leak that I have got to fix. I ordered a whole new hose assembly, and I'm really glad I didn't return it. I kept it for whichever in case emergencies. Thank you. I got it in the house. But unfortunately, when you're using someone else's shop and somebody wants their stuff, you're kind of at the mercy of them. So I had to just put it back together with whatever I had at the time, because that part didn't come in yet. So you know, it is what it is. Like, it's a small ordeal at the end of the day, kind of. I mean, I would definitely risk driving it home, but, you know, it is what it is. So it's fine. And we're just going to, Big Cameron's going to come by, check it out with me. And I also have my AEM wideband gauge, digital, and my boost gauge for the Celine pod. So both of those came in now. I already got the gauges inserted in the Celine pod. So all we gotta do is just take a day, wire those up, and yeah, man, we'll be closer and closer to getting this blower on. I'm telling you guys, I haven't been being lazy. I promise. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the little update video. What's been going on with me and potential content in the future. And wish me luck getting this coolant leak fixed. And yeah, man, I'll be sure to catch you guys in another episode. Hopefully more positive and fun-filled. So if you guys enjoyed it, please like, subscribe. Tell your boys about this controversial SN so they can watch it. Help me out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.